Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I am Vishnu Shobh. On the program today, it seems that the battle for Maharashtra is going to be going to the Supreme Court. Lawyers attached to Eknath Shinde, that's the dissident leader of the Shiv Sena, have approached the Supreme Court. The hearing will take place tomorrow. They say that the effort made by the Uddhav Thackeray band of group of the Shiv Sena to disqualify 16 of their MLAs is not legitimate. It is unacceptable. But Uddhav Thackeray and his supporters, Aditya Thackeray, his son, have made it absolutely clear. Those leaders of the dissidents who are in Guwahati would eventually need to come back to Maharashtra. Would they face or would they have the popular support that they need? Also, the lawyers representing Uddhav Thackeray also making it clear that it's not that easy to get two-thirds majority as some of Eknath Shinde's supporters may believe it is. Those dissident MLAs would first have to be part of another party. If they're part of another party, they cannot be called the Shiv Sena. So that's the big story on a day in which several senior Shiv Sena leaders, including Sanjay Raut, have been making some fairly strong statements. Let's listen in.
या 40 आमदारांच्या बॉड्या इथे येतील त्यांना डायरेक्ट सभागृहात पोस्टमॉर्टम मध्ये पाठवू करू ना त्यांना छठ पूजेला पाठवू.
All right, well, joining us now, the senior Supreme Court lawyer Sanjay Hegde. We're also joined by Rohit Chandravarkar, Vijay Krishna of the Shiv Sena, and Dr. Siva Malik of the NCP. PKD Nambi are also with us. Let me go across to Sanjay Hegde first. Now, from a legal standpoint, Mr. Hegde, on what grounds can those in the dissident camp of the Shiv Sena claim that they have the support of two-thirds and therefore they are the real Shiv Sena? Is that legally a tenable position?
It can be two-thirds of the legislative party. But the political party is a different thing. There are two different processes here. A recognized political party has a symbol that is granted by the Election Commission.
Right.
There can be separate proceedings with regard to the symbol fight. That has no consequence whatsoever in matters of disqualification. Now, in disqualification, after the 2003 amendment, there is no question of a split. A split does not help you avoid disqualification. Only where the original political party merges with another party and two-thirds of the legislators assent to that, then those two-thirds legislators will be saved from the consequences of what would otherwise technically be called a defection. So therefore, you cannot have two Shiv Senas.
Right.
If the Shinde Sena were to merge with the BJP, or the Shinde Sena were to merge with some other small political party, take that over. They may yet have a case to save disqualification.
What if they were to form their own group with a different name?
They can, see, listen, there would have to be a registered political party. If there is another registered political party into which they merge, and then what they call that new party something else, that's their business. But there has to be a merger of one political party with another political party.
Okay. Rohit Chandravarkar, is it your sense that there is a groundswell of support at this juncture for the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra, on the basis of which they are being far more aggressive and more confident than they were perhaps 48 hours back?
See, Vishnu, the perception creation game is now very much on from both sides. So if you watch visuals in Mumbai, you will see that, Shiv Senics are out like we predicted, and there is a lot of action. If you watch the visuals from Thane or some other places like Hingoli or, other places, then you will see that there are protests in favor of the MLAs who have defected or who have raised a rebellion, we can't call it defection yet. Three important points, Vishnu, and just give me 45 seconds or so. is why has this happened? It is a combination of three important things. Point number one is Uddhav Thackeray and Aditya Thackeray not being accessible, and NCP taking advantage of that and diverting funds, etc., as is being alleged by these MLAs. Uddhav not really taking enough interest, maybe in their words, or that is the allegation. That is point number one. Point number two is the fear among these MLAs that they will not get party tickets in the next assembly polls, because now Uddhav has got into alliance with NCP and Congress, and they defeated NCP Congress candidates last time. And point number three is the ED and IT thing that is hanging over them. So even if Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray work on the first point, which they can, point number two and point number three remain as issues. So I don't see how this can be resolved. Sharad Pawar, speaking to reporters in Delhi today, said that some of these MLAs, when they reach Mumbai, there will be change of heart. But my prediction is there will be no change of heart because of these three factors, especially the point number two and point number three. So
let me just put that question, in fact, to Vijay Krishna of the Shiv Sena. Vijay Krishna ji, do you believe that, firstly, how many leaders are you still in contact with in Guwahati? And do you realistically believe that they're going to come back into your fold?
Definitely. I think they are under the spell of Mahashakti, which is the Bharatiya Janata Party. And today even our Shiv Sena leader Aditya Thackeray categorically said that many number of MLAs who are presently staying in a five-star hotel splurging money are in touch with real Shiv Sena, which is being led by our Rajya Pramukh Shri Uddhav Thackeray ji. And the first point I would like to inform all the people about the propaganda run by Shinde ji. Letter was written by an MLA alleging that our Uddhav Saab not being accessible. That is a big lie. These are the lies which are scripted by BJP. Because I would like to inform you, I'll tell you that the entire world has been suffering owing to COVID-19 crisis. Who were we meeting actually? That was not the case. And after 2.5 years being
across to PKD Nambiar. Mr. Nambiar, what is the BJP gaining over here? Because in as much as the BJP would like to form the government in Maharashtra, these dissident leaders have from the very onset been fighting along the lines that they are the Shiv Sena. Now, if they are so tied to the identity of the Shiv Sena, what progress has the BJP made in trying to get them to merge with the BJP? Because without that taking place, they can't just say that they are the Shiv Sena. It doesn't work that way.
I definitely would like to go with what my friend Sanjay ji said, because he's a legal luminary, and I don't want to get into the legal part of it. But you look at from the point of view, we are talking about politics. We are not talking about a legal issue. In politics, something called as political morality. Forget about the numbers, forget about everything. If you have 55 MLAs...
It boils down to numbers now, Mr. Nambiar. We're looking at the future.
No, I understand that. Vishnu, I understand that, because we have been discussing only from the last almost 7 days or so about only these things. But how do you expect somebody who is sitting on a chair, like you look at yourself or me, like all our people are moved away saying that we are not interested in your leadership, and the person who is sitting on the chair saying that no, I will still hold on to the chair. That is called as the political morality more than the numbers. Of course, the numbers will come, the Supreme Court will come, the Deputy Speaker will play his own role.
So much of trying to look at the future and what happens. I think we are well past that political morality argument on both sides. But let me just take it across to Dr.
I'll tell you what is going to be the gain of... You asked me a question because I was coming to that, the BJP. See, I always say that BJP may get some kind of a political advantage because many of these MLAs, the 39 or 40 or the entire 55 MLAs of
they'll join the BJP?
Have become an MLA with the support of BJP and the BJP Karyakarta.
No, so will they join the BJP now?
I don't think that they are definitely aligned to BJP. They may join, they may not join.
So that doesn't help their cause. Dr. Siva Malik, what about the role of the Deputy Speaker of the State Assembly? Because Eknath Shinde's supporters are basically saying that
tomorrow is a big
they don't
day.
have,
I
they don't
want to
believe
put
that.
points.
I'll tell you one
Let
thing.
me
Tomorrow
let me
Yeah,
speak, sir. You have given
one
already
second,
given a
PKD,
lecture
hold
on
on.
morality.
PKD
Let me
Nambiar,
speak.
hold on.
Let me speak.
Dr. Malik, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Just first of all, I'll say that a person who is giving us lecture on the political morality, the Bharatiya Janata Party is giving a lecture on political morality. So I don't know, joke of the day, I think. And who is behind all these things? And since you have asking me a specific question about Deputy Speaker, I'll say that he has got the full authority on this, and the people who are writing letter to him, in what position they are, I don't know what position they are holding. They are not, they are not a registered party.
No, so there is an argument on that.
Head of a political party, they are not head of the constitutional party. Then in what capacity they are writing letter to the Deputy Speaker?
Sure, and I'll come to that and put that question to Mr. Hegde. Mr. Hegde, can the Deputy Speaker adjudicate upon disqualification proceedings while there is a notice of resolution for his own removal? That is what the petition of Eknath Shinde asks.
See, the matter is before the Supreme Court tomorrow, but there are two big hurdles. First is that the Supreme Court normally asks people to go back to the High Court. Where the Bombay High Court is open, why did you come directly to the Supreme Court? The second is that in anti-defection matters and in other matters also, at an interim stage, the Supreme Court does not get into matters. It's only when there is a final order of disqualification that there can be an appeal to the courts. Then you ask this question about the Deputy Speaker. There is a judgment of the court which said that when there is a motion for removal of the Speaker, then he should not have gone ahead. But that was a case where there was both a Speaker and a Deputy Speaker. Now here, there is no Speaker. There is only the Deputy Speaker. He has to conduct the proceedings. He has to go ahead with questions of disqualification. There is in law something called the doctrine of necessity. At certain points of time, when there is nobody else to do the job, even if the person who is supposed to do the job has some disqualification, that disqualification gets overlooked. In my view, I think the Deputy Speaker could very well go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Nambiar, one of the points mentioned by the lawyers representing Uddhav Thackeray have said, and I quote, the action of going to another state, a BJP ruled state, meeting with BJP leaders, trying to topple the government, writing letters against the government amounts to a clear violation. And this is their plea to the Speaker. So therefore, they are basing their disqualification on what are facts. We know that this has happened. So when Eknath Shinde and his supporters say that, look, you can't disqualify our people, on what basis do they say so?
Absolutely. I think Gujarat and Assam is integral part of India. So Maharashtra is not a particular separate country in this within the country. So I don't think those things are just. Of course, there is as you said initially.
Mr. Nambiar, have you understood my question?
A huge perception management. There is a huge perception management and body language, or a positive body language show and etc. is happening in Mumbai. We have seen that whether it is Aditya Thackeray speaking or Uddhav Thackeray's emotional speech, Sanjay Raut like a water cannon coming up every day in the morning and in the evening giving messages. But just imagine that you have lost your 39 MLAs and you are trying to show yourself as a hero. What are you talking about? Even if you lose, even if they are not able to, they lose in the court. How do you go to the people, in front of the people, the real Shiv Sainis? You are going to the Shiv Sainis with the NCP, or you will be going with the NCP, or your
Vijay Krishna wants to reply to that. Mr. Krishna, go ahead.
Their faces to the people.
Nambiar ji, थोड़ी देर के लिए रुकिए. Vishnu Somji, today I had an opportunity to watch a wonderful meeting held by our Honorable Prime Minister with the Indian diaspora at Munich, Germany. And he spoke highly of our country and called India as a mother of democracy. I support it. And he also called our democracy being vibrant. I support it. But what has happened in Maharashtra? An defection is happening out in the open. And still, should I feel that India is mother of democracy? Are we not making a mockery of our Indian democracy by being hypocritical? And today I was caught with ambivalent feelings. I was laughing cryingly. I was crying laughingly.
BJP has been saying about the situation in Maharashtra. When power was snatched out of the hands of the BJP a few years back, when the MVA was formed, the BJP says that where was democracy, that democracy was robbed. So
we did not destroy other party. Shiv Sena is an independent party with individual decisions. How can you but direct us that you should ally only with BJP? Ye nahi hoga, sir. We gave an opportunity for Fadnis to become chief minister for full 5 years. And what happened in Bihar? Did Nitish Kumar get a greater number of MLAs? There you have no objection, Nitish Kumar, because they wanted to finish up Shiv Sena. So today they're up in arms against Shiv Sena symbol, Shiv Sena party. Now Shiv Senics like us who have taken up the responsibility, and we will keep on calling out the hypocrisy of Eknath Shinde and all his MLAs. I am telling you, just as it happened in the Ayaram Gayaram case, where he defected to 3 parties.
Okay, one sec. I'm running out of time on this. I want to go back to Mr. Hegde. You know, Mr. Hegde, it is a difficult situation. There is absolutely no doubt that Eknath Shinde has the numbers. 40 odd MLAs of Shiv Sena MLAs, right? And the numbers beyond that with independents, the numbers are with him. And so there is popular support, at least among MLAs, for him. And yet it is a fact that he has tried to topple the government, number one. He's been meeting with leaders of another party. He's defied his party whip, etc., etc. And that is illegal from a party standpoint. How does the Supreme Court potentially balance both of these?
That's not the question before the Supreme Court. Tomorrow, the only question before the Supreme Court is, can the Deputy Speaker take up disqualification proceedings? So that's the only question tomorrow. So we are not looking anywhere else.
Get into what I asked, because the disqualification proceedings pushed by the Shiv Sena of Uddhav Thackeray is based on exactly this, on people trying to topple his government, writing letters against the government, making their own whip.
Those are questions which the Speaker, who is the authority, will have to decide.
Deal with it. Won't the Supreme Court have to deal with this?
Not tomorrow. Tomorrow, see, all those questions are at large before the first tribunal, which is that of the Speaker. Does somebody have the right to bring the disqualification proceedings? Whatever the Shinde Sena comes in and tells the Speaker will have to consider all that and pass a reasoned order. The Supreme Court will not jump in ahead of the Speaker before he passes an order. The only question before the court tomorrow is, does the Deputy Speaker have the authority to go ahead because somebody has given a notice of no confidence on as far as he is concerned? So that there is a legal argument in the doctrine of necessity.
All right. Well, it is all fascinating, certainly from a legal standpoint. The role of the Deputy Speaker is one way or the other going to decide the immediate course of action on the floor of the Assembly and in terms of Maharashtra politics. But I suspect this is going to be challenged in the Supreme Court at all sorts of levels with much larger questions. I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us. I'm going to quickly move on to another one of the stories that we are tracking. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the G7 meet, which is set to start in Germany. He's already there, where among other things he met members of the Indian diaspora. He spoke to them, and he also hit out at what happened on June 26th, several decades back, almost 50 years back. That, of course, was the onset of the emergency in India. Listen in to what he said.
हमारा गौरव है जो डेमोक्रेसी हर भारतीय के डीएनए में है। आज से 47 साल पहले इसी समय उस डेमोक्रेसी को बंधक बनाने, डेमोक्रेसी को कुचलने का प्रयास किया गया था। आपातकाल का कालखंड, इमरजेंसी भारत के वाइब्रेंट डेमोक्रेटिक इतिहास में एक काले धब्बे की तरह है.
Well, we're going to move or turn our attention to another big story in Assam. The flood situation is now fairly desperate. At least 121 people have lost their lives. At least 4 people have died in the last 24 hours itself. The city of Silchar continues to be entirely submerged, though there's a hope that water levels will start coming down. But the damage would only be, people could only calculate the damage once that water level does go down. Drones are now playing an important part in delivering water to those people who are stranded. In his first interview since these floods really became a crisis, the Assam Chief Minister spoke to my colleague Akshay Dongre, describing what the state government is trying to do to deal with the situation. He was out on the boats. Akshay was on the boats with him. There are all sorts of concerns about healthcare, concerns about looting, concerns about illness as a result of still water, brackish water. So those are a couple of key points that Himanta Biswa Sarma replied to in this interview.
Right over in Silchar, and today is the 6th day of flood. Chief Minister has landed in Silchar and is taking a stock of the flood situation. Sir, this is the 6th day. Lakhs of people still inundated. They are still suffering. What is your plan of action for the upcoming days? What are the contingency measures that you are taking?
In last 1 week, this is my second visit to Silchar town. Right from NDRF, Indian Army, civil administration, everyone is working to give maximum relief to the people. Our priority is to restore the electricity as early as possible. I think Barak River is also receding. Unless there is no fresh rain, I am hopeful that in next 24 hours situation will be much better for the people of Silchar.
So this water that we are seeing, this is not stagnant water. It can breed a lot of diseases. So to prevent that, what are the measures that
I think our health department and particularly hospitals and doctors will do their needful. But as you know that the flood in Silchar town has actually it was not a very nature made. It was because of the reason that somebody cut the embankment.
Yes,
so we have to look the issue very carefully so that in future how we can protect the embankment. So far as health issue is concerned, we will do extensive health camp. Silchar has a robust health system. I think we will be able to overcome.
People are saying there are robberies happening.
I think I have inquired and we deploy additional police force also, including 2 SP level officer in Silchar. After hearing this about robbery 2 days back, but SP has told me that this is just a rumor. It is not based on facts.
I spoke to some people. They are saying that teams of 40 robbers are coming, 50 robbers.
I think this is I mean rumor, and in this panic situation, many such rumor do happen.
Sir, just one last thing. We have been seeing that the opposition is targeting you about the floods and saying that you are busy with some other priorities.
I think those people who are in Assam, they knows what is my priority. Day and night I am in field. So people are extremely happy with the government. At least we are trying to help, and whoever whoever is monitoring me, they will know that 24 hours I am on field.
Sir, anything else you would like to add about the efforts that you will be making in the future?
I think with the support of central government, I am confident that we will be able to overcome the situation, provided there is no fresh rain.
Any ex gratia, because a lot of people have died as well.
I think that we instantly release ex gratia amount. That we do instantly.
Just one last thing, sir. About the relief camp, some people are complaining about the situation. They are saying that there are mosquitoes, etc. So will you be...
There will be problem. There will be a problem. As you know, there this kind of tragedy. But we are trying to mitigate as much as it is possible.
Right. Thank you so much. So that was the Chief Minister of Assam. And you can see the water here. It's still in Silchar. He himself has taken a boat. As far as the allegations on Assam government's priorities are concerned, opposition is protesting almost every day. They are saying that the Chief Minister was more busy with, in fact, providing hospitality to the MLAs who have come from Maharashtra. On this, Assam's Chief Minister is saying that people are extremely happy, and all the measures, these are all accusations by the opposition, and people are extremely happy as far as the contingency measures are concerned, as far as the relief work is concerned. So you can see officers of NDRF, the Member of Parliament of Silchar, and the Chief Minister himself, and finally they have arrived after several complaints of where exactly are the leaders as far as the entire crisis is concerned. With camera person Sanjay Chakraborty, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
All right, we'll continue to follow that story very, very closely. The situation in Assam, absolutely tragic. We'll take a short break on this program. There's a lot more coming up right here on NDTV 24/7.